Hi everyone, welcome to Miraculous Microbes. I'm Dr. R. Vinodni. Today I would like to discuss about sulfur cycle. Let's get started. Sulfur is one of the components that make up proteins and vitamins. Protein consists of amino acid that contain the sulfur atoms. Sulfur is important for the functioning of proteins and enzymes in plants and animals. It enters the atmosphere through both natural and human sources. Natural resources can be, for instance, volcanic eruptions, bacterial process, evaporation from water, or decaying organisms. When sulfur enters the atmosphere through human activity, this is mainly a consequence of the industrial process where sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide gases are emitted on a wide scale. When sulfur dioxide enters the atmosphere, it will react with oxygen to produce sulfur trioxide gas, or with other chemicals in the atmosphere, it produces sulfur salt. Sulfur dioxide may also react with water to produce the sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid may also produce from dimethyl sulfide, which is emitted to the atmosphere by plankton species. All these particles will settle back onto Earth or react with rain and fall back on the earth as acid deposition. The particles will then be absorbed by plants again and are released back into the atmosphere so that sulfur cycle will start over again. Role of soil microorganism in sulfur oxidation. Various transformation of sulfur in soil results mainly due to microbial activity, although some chemical transformation may also possible. Example, oxidation of the iron sulfide. The major type of transformation involved in the cycling of the sulfur are mineralization, immobilization, oxidation, and reduction. First, we are going to start with the mineralization. The breakdown or decomposition of large organic sulfur compounds to smaller units and their conversion into inorganic compounds such as sulfates by the microorganism. The rate of the sulfur mineralization is about 1 to 10% per year. Second is the immobilization. Microbial conversion of inorganic sulfur compounds to organic sulfur compounds. The third is the oxidation. Oxidation of the elemental sulfur and the inorganic sulfur compound such as the sulfide and thiosulfate to sulfate is brought about by chemoautotrophic and photosynthetic bacteria. When plant and animal proteins are degraded, the sulfur is released from the amino acid and accumulates in the soil, which is then oxidized to sulfates in the presence of oxygen, and under the anaerobic condition, that is a waterlogged soil, organic sulfur is decomposed to produce the hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide can also accumulate during the reduction of the sulfates under anaerobic condition, which can be further oxidized to sulfates under the aerobic condition. The members of genus Thiobacillus, which is the obligate chemolithotropic and non-photosynthetic bacteria, example, Thiobacillus ferroxidans and Thiobacillus thioxidans are main organisms involved in the oxidation of elemental sulfur to sulfates. These are aerobic, non-filamentous, chemosynthetic autotrophs. Other than the Thiobacillus, heterotrophic bacteria like Bacillus, Pseudomonas and Arthobacter, and fungi Aspergillus, Penicillium, and some actinomycetes are also reported to oxidize the sulfur compounds. Green and purple bacteria of genera Chlorobium, Chromatium, Rhodopseudomonas are also reported to oxidize sulfur in aquatic environment. Sulfuric acid produced during the oxidation of sulfur and the hydrogen sulfide is of great significance in reducing the pH of alkaline soil and in controlling potato scab and rot diseases caused by Streptomyces bacteria. The formation of sulfate and sulfuric acid is beneficial in agriculture in different ways. First, as it is the anion of the strong mineral acid, can render the alkaline soil fit for the cultivation by correcting the soil pH. Second is the solubilizing the inorganic salt containing plant nutrients and thereby increasing the level of soluble phosphate, potassium, calcium, magnesium for the plant nutrition. Fourth transformation process is the reduction of sulfate. Sulfate in the soil is assimilated by plant and the microorganism and incorporated into proteins. This is known as assimilatory sulfate reduction. Sulfate can be reduced to hydrogen sulfide by sulfate reducing bacteria, example D-sulfovibrio, D-sulfatomaculum, and may diminish the availability of sulfur for plant nutrition. This is known as dissimilatory sulfate reduction, which is not all desirable from the soil fertility and the agriculture productivity point of view. Dissimilatory sulfate reduction is favored by the alkaline and anaerobic condition of soil and the sulfates are reduced to hydrogen sulfide. For an example, calcium sulfate is attacked under the anaerobic condition by the members of genus D-sulfovibrio, D-sulfatomaculum to release the hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide produced by the reduction of sulfate and sulfur containing amino acid decomposition is further oxidized by some species of green and purple phototropic bacteria. Example, Chlorobium, Chromatium to release the elemental sulfur. The predominant sulfate-reducing bacterial genera in the soil are D-sulfovibrio, D-sulfatomaculum, and D-sulfomonas. All are obligate anaerobes. Amongst these species, D-sulfovibrio, D-sulfricans are most ubiquitous, non-spore-forming, obligate anaerobes that reduce the sulfate at rapid rate in waterlogged soil. While the species of D-sulfatomaculum are spore-forming, thermophilic, obligate anaerobes that reduce the sulfates in the dry land soil. All sulfate-reducing bacteria excrete an enzyme called as the desulfurase or bisulfate reductase. The rate of sulfate reduction in nature is enhanced by increasing the water level, high organic matter content, and increased temperature. This figure shown the sulfur cycle. Thank you. I hope this video gave you a clarification about the sulfur cycle. I will catch you at the next video related to the microbiology.